till about a week ago, and I came back from Washington on November the 12th. I was there for 4.5 years, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts with you, so thank you very much for being here. Mr. Akasaka, the president of Foreign Press Center, is a good friend, and he said, well, Fujisaki, it looks like you don't have anything to do, so maybe I'll give you some time to meet press, and that will give you something to do at least. He said in Japanese, I don't know if you understand Japanese. After retirement, he said, Kyoiku and Kyoyo is important. Kyoiku is education. Kyoyo is, how do you say, culture? But Kyoiku mean, in his term means kyo iku tokoro, today somewhere to go. Or kyoyo means you have something to do today because you have nothing to do. So I'm very grateful that he has given me this chance. I was there and I retired. In Washington, often people say when they retire, I would like to spend more time with my family. That's the sort of set phrase. But I know that often if they go back, their kids will say, Father or Mother, I don't have time for you. Maybe I'll have time for you with coffee in 2 months' time or something like that. And in my case too, my girls are journalists like you, and they're running around the town here in Tokyo. Also, I was talking with my friend, and he said, now you understand the importance of CSR. I said, I knew the importance of corporate social responsibility. He said, no, I'm talking about car, secretary, and room. Yes, I really appreciate that now because I don't have it. Now, I thought I should be there till the end of the U.S. presidential election, so I returned on November the 11th. There was two reasons. One was the U.S. presidential election. The other was there was a movie of Taylor Anderson, a jet girl who lost her life in Ishinomi's movie shown in Virginia. And I wanted to be there on November the 9th. As for, excuse me, election, I had a theory of unholy alliance. Those runner-ups, in this case, was the Republicans, said they were a tight race. It's going to be a tight race. Democrats, because they were leading, they said it's going to be a tight race. They had to tighten their camp. It's going to be a close race, they said. And media, all the American media had to say it's going to be a very close race because it's a once in 4 years big business chance. So everyone was saying it's close race, but I didn't really think so because I was watching the poll every week of those 10 states, swing states, Florida, Ohio, Virginia, Penn, New Hampshire, Colorado, those states, and always 3 to 5% point. President Obama was leading in almost 8 or 9 of the 10 states. So it was rather obvious, I thought. But of course, as a good ambassador, you can say that. And when you're asked which country, candidate Japan preferred, my way of saying was that it's like a Christmas gift. You don't say anything till the day. You open the box and you cry out, this is just what I wanted. Now, I made a theory in 2008 that Obama won by 4W. Do you know what it is? He attacked George W. He attacked Iraq War. He attacked Washington. He attacked Wall Street. Now, after 4 years, it's a little too late to discuss about George W. Even he was doing. He started Afghan War. He became Washington. So Wall Street was the only W remaining for 2012. This is my theory, and no commentator is saying it. Says, please don't write that in Washington people are saying this, because you're going to make a big mistake. Now, in 2012, my thinking is that new 4 Ws he had in his hand. What are they? Anyone want to guess? Huh? No, because Obama can't use that. Obama attacked wealthy people, wealth of Romney. That's 1 W. He, the work was his work, and also the job rate, which came down to 7.7, but just before election it came down to 7.9. That helped him. Of course, third one was woman and minority. There was 10% point difference. Now, last 4. What's this? Give a try. This 4th W, I will give a prize for you. It's for someone who has got it. Just cry out first. Don't raise your hand.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
No, it was wealth, work, and women and minority helped Obama. What W helped him? One more W helped him being elected. Just cry out. Huh?
Why?
Obama was helped by what? He was helped by attacking wealth, work rate, and women and minority helped him. What one more W helped him being elected? Come on, you're a journalist. Be brave. I want to give this out.
War.
Huh?
War.
No one is going to get it? I'll just count 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sandy. Now, so I thought it was rather obvious, the election result, but now I think I'd like to discuss a bit about how I felt during when I was there as an ambassador. 3 points I would talk about. First, and then I will explain this chart. First was a change of administration in Japan. We had, as you know, Tenma issue, East Asian community issue. It was not a very smooth transition. And the problem there was that the virtue of Japanese decision, often criticized by foreign media or foreign people, is that we take time in making decision. However, once we arrived to conclusion, we would stick to that and not change too easily. That kind of habit, that Japanese governmental decision, or because it took time, because took time to make a consensus of politicians, civil service, sometimes business people, and you come up with one policy and you would stick to that. That, I think, was damaged during that period of transition. Because as you have recall, in Okinawa, you came up with several views and then change, and all that has occurred in too much a short period. However, within a year, everything went back to normal. So I don't think it made a big scar to Japan-U.S. relations, but to Japanese image, that was something that I think did not leave a good a legacy. Second was East Asian community. That idea came because EU was customs union between European countries. NAFTA was with a North American company, so why don't we make one? That was the DPJ thinking. And United States was not too positive, of course, about it being excluded. So but this again, when Mr. Khan came in, when he met President Obama in September, the two leaders agreed that there's not going to be any institutionalization in East Asia without United States. So these were rather tough period because decision-making process was not as we used to. Now, looking at election today, a lot of politicians are saying we have to fight against bureaucracy in Kasumigaseki. We have to exclude bureaucrats. When I read about it, I feel like, hey, here you go again. I think Japan is in a crisis. We are not a strong power now, as used to be. It's not a time to exclude one another. In Japan, we have to unite and cope with the situation. I am a little bit disappointed with what I hear during this election campaign. Second big issue is earthquake. Great earthquake of 2011, March 11. I was there in Washington. The main channel was Tokyo, the communication channel with the United States. However, by working in Washington, we could use 24 hours a day because there was 12 hours time difference. If we worked 16 hours each, we snatched 32 hours out of 24 hours. Maybe it's not very arithmetic, but it was like that. And we worked around the clock. The main thing we were doing was to communicate Japanese position to United States and vice versa. What we needed in Japan, what US could provide us. Second thing I did was to go out on US media, television mainly, to explain about Japanese position and the situation, what we needed, and conveyed how grateful we are to Americans. Third was to go to many of the meetings organized by volunteers and express gratitude, explain the situation. There was enormous amount of goodwill by small kids as well. They given birthday gifts. They made 1,000 cranes, and it was really moving that how much they were really engaged in. Often in Japan, only those activities by U.S. forces, Tomodachi operation, is seen and remembered. But I know that people in Washington worked around the clock. Really, they made a 24/7 team and worked all the way. And President Obama's science and technology advisor formed a video conference network around the country with the top nuclear experts, and every day they discussed how to help Japan and communicated directly to Japan. It was very impressive. Third incident I would like to convey is not these difficult, but very good side. That is a cherry blossom festival. Every year there's a cherry blossom festival. Americans have received two great gifts from abroad. One is Statue of Liberty from France. The other is this cherry blossom. Statue of Liberty has some advantage because it's there all year round. But you can't spread them all around the country. Of course, you can make replica, but it's not. Cherry blossom is there only 1 week. But the good point is that you can spread the cherry blossoms all around the country. That is exactly what we're doing for this 100 years anniversary. And we made some small garden scenery change near the tidal basin as well. This was 100 years ago that Japanese people, Tokyo people, have given this cherry blossom, 3,000 of them, to Japan, to United States, Washington, D.C. Two stories. One is that what I found out very interesting was when I went to United States, a lot of books and brochures said that it was given by Dr. Jokichi Takamine, really. It was in the name of Tokyo mayor, but was funded by this chemist who was a big businessman as well, Dr. Takamine. This is very different from what we learn in Japan. We learn that this is a Tokyo people's gift. I thought that was very interesting, so I dug into documents of United States, Japan, and came out with the fact that Dr. Takamine first came up with the idea of giving thousands of trees, but then New York Consul General said, you should make it as a gift, official gift from Tokyo mayor. To that, Dr. Takamine said, yes, but if Tokyo mayor can't get the necessary funding, I will talk with New York people to Japanese leaders to get the money. And some American lady, a very important lady, but who just heard that I will, if not possible, thought that he did it. And she wrote that story in 1920. And everyone cited from that all 90 years. So that was very interesting change of facts. And I know that first class reporters would not do, how do you say it in Japanese? Hayashi-san, magobiki te nante no? I'm sorry. Magobiki means you don't cite from the original, but Requotation. Okay, good. Thank you very much. And that was the result of that. The second thing that incident I just wanted to convey about this cherry blossom 100 years was that first try, it failed because a lot of insects were found in the trees. And United States thought the Japanese government should give up sending these trees. However, Ambassador then insisted that we'd give another try. It's not in honor of Japan if we just failed and stopped. And he persuaded Tokyo government. And Tokyo mayor tried again. And then now we see all these trees around. So it's not that I'm praising some diplomats 100 years ago, but sometimes, maybe not always, diplomats make right decisions. These are the three things I just wanted to brought to attention. And however, I am before I open the floor, I would like to explain a bit about this chart that I prepared. This is how I was part of how I was presenting to American friends Japan's challenges and strength. The difficulty we are facing is currency appreciation, one of them. Exchange rate. After Lehman shock or Wall Street shock, yen was appreciated by 39%. Renminbi only 9%. Euro depreciated 11% against dollar. How can you compete if your currency is so much appreciated? This is one of the points. Second, I don't know if you were here last year, you heard word supply chain issue. I was there in Washington. Chairman of Federal Board, Reserve Board, said, U.S. economy is good, but there's two elements facing Japan, United States, high oil price and supply chain issue. So I raised hand and asked him, do you have any figures for supply chain? And he said he didn't. So I went back and asked my METI, Ministry of Education and Trade offices, to find something out of FRB, sources FRB. This is a U.S. car production, making 2007 as 100. You see that Wall Street crash time, it came down to 36 because of weak demand. This is what happened during the great earthquake. It dropped a bit, but nothing compared to that. And it's already up to over 100. So I was telling Japanese journalists and colleagues, don't exaggerate this supply chain issue. Of course, it has had some effect. We should not deny it. But to say that this was a huge event is not really what is representative. Now, this is the supply chain issue. So, as some of you may recall, 20 years ago, 70% of U.S. trade deficit was trade with Japan. At that time, you heard a lot of trade war or trade barrier or those issues. Now, Japan's share in U.S. trade deficit is 10%. Number one is China, number two EU, number three Mexico, and we are not even a bronze medal here. So this is what I was explaining. Now, a lot of people say Japanese agricultural market is so closed. Yes, some of the price tariffs are very high, like rice. But all in all, corn, we are number one importer of U.S. product. Wheat, we're number one. soybean number 3, pork number 1. This is the share in Japanese market of U.S. U.S. is number 1 in corn, wheat, soybean, pork. So U.S. is such an important supplier for us, and Japan is an important market for. Of course, there's beef issue, BSE, which has to be solved, but all in all, this factor is not that well known, and some of the American people think that Japan is so close. So I was explaining that as well. Now, the big challenge that we're facing is this issue, as you know. In 2010, LNG was 32%, nuclear was 32% of our electricity. Coal 23 and oil 5. Now, after 311, LNG 47, oil 15%, nuclear almost nil. Coal has not changed that much, so LNG and oil has taken over the role that nuclear, filled in the nuclear's role. We are importing LNG from countries around the world, but not United States, because U.S. has Natural Gas Act, and it says that natural gas should be exported to in line with public interest, and this has been interpreted very narrowly as countries which has FTA with the United States. So Korea is importing, but not Japan yet, and we are working on that. Prime Minister Noda, when he met Mr. Obama on April 30th, said, we would like to see U.S. start exporting LNG. But we have some strong points as well, as you know very well, as a correspondent. Gini coefficient. This is a measure of inequality of distribution from 0 to 100. When the figure is lower, it's more equal. Japan is equal. Number 3rd in the world. Number 1, I don't know why, but Azerbaijan is number 1, and the least is Namibia, but US is 76. So this is the sort of classic 199 issue. Japan is, as you know, a very flat society in that sense. Net external asset. Japan is still has the asset. That this external asset means U.S. Treasury bond or Japan's investment in other countries, and Japan is 3.3 trillion, and it's more than China and Germany added. Of course, we should invite in more investment into our country, and this will decrease. But still, this shows that Japan need not be neglected in world market. Shows the importance of Japan. Net debt, you can see which are the net debt countries. Innovation, this is the most important in order to show what kind of future we have. Red bars, this is my way of presentation. Red bars are patent application. Blue bars are research and development figures, both company and government. Up until 2010, 2008, US was number 1, Japan was number 2 on both accounts. However, on R&D, China came up in 2009 and took over the 2nd place. So on patent application, US is number 1, Japan is number 2, number 3 is Germany, number 4 is China. Expenditure on research and development, US is number 1, China is number 2, Japan is number 3. This is WIPO UNESCO figure. But this shows that Japanese economy still has strength. this is the international contribution. Some of you may know, but the soft belly or hot spots of the world, Iraq, Afghan, Pakistan, Palestinian. For economic reconstruction, U.S. is number one. Japan is number two in all the 4 countries, or 3 countries in one area. That fact is not that well known, so I would like you to know about it. This is setting aside the military element, only economic reconstruction. Lastly, this is U.S. and Japan, so there are a lot of people from outside, but what I've been always saying is that U.S. and Japan, respective impression, 82% of Japanese feel close to Americans. 84% Americans think Japan is trustworthy partner. This is very important figure. Now I am open for questions. You can ask me any other questions other than this. I have retired a week ago, and I have no information about government. I don't get any cables or anything, so I can't judge a government position or policy, but as an individual, I'm very happy to answer any of the current issues as well. You don't have to limit questions to what I have said. Lastly, I would like to offer my apology. This is my way of presentation. I know, because I've been doing all the way. I know that if I give you materials, you would just look at material and you would not listen to me. So I did not give you materials, but you will get it later. It's outside of the door, which everything I have presented, and on top of that, other papers as well. So please, you will have it. To take it when you go out. Thank you very much.